Welcome to the Cup of Nurses podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast with your hosts, Matt Solarchik and Peter Findero. Peter, how are you doing on this beautiful day?
I'm doing great. Weather's nice. Love it.
Nice and sunny in Chicago. All right, so what's the topic we're going to discuss today?
Today we're going to talk about blood pressure, give you some tips to lower it, what blood pressure is, the stages, just a little rundown for you guys.
Cool. So one cool fact about the heart that it beats 100 times a day.
Or 35 million a year.
Exactly. That's mind-blowing. With all that, like the only thing that sucks about the heart, unfortunately, is the cells don't reproduce, right?
Exactly.
So, like, what's the difference between heart muscles and, let's just say, the regular skeletal muscles?
So your heart is composed of something we call cardiac muscle cells, and then your muscles in your body, they're skeletal muscle cells. So the ones in your biceps or your triceps, they grow, they reproduce, and they stretch. Ideally, you want them to do that because they look better. But when you hurt your bicep or your tricep, those cells reproduce so you can grow new cells. Unfortunately, your heart does not do that. So the heart that you have now is the heart you're stuck with forever.
Yeah, that's why it's really important to take care of it, for example. With anything, if you get like a heart attack or something, those cells, once they die because of lack of oxygen, they don't come back.
Yep.
So we have one heart. We have those cells, whatever the amount is there. Let's just cherish them. So let's jump into the blood pressure. We could probably discuss the way like things flow. So Everything starts from like that left side, right? For those that don't know, you have 4 chambers, right? Everything starts from the right atrium, goes onto the right ventricle through the tricuspid valve. And I also have this mnemonic. It's always you got to try it before you buy it. So it's always tricuspid first before the mitral valve. After that, it goes into the pulmonary artery through the pulmonic valve, right?
Yeah. Pulmonary vein, and it goes to your left side, left atrium, left ventricle, and then eventually that pressure pushes the aortic valve open, and your blood goes the rest of your body and your organs through that.
Exactly. So what is a good blood pressure for those that don't know anything about it?
Ideally, you want it 120/80. That's the standard currently. Before it was 120/80. Now they want it on the below. Once you go above that, you get into prehypertensive or now it's hypertensive, and then you go into the stages of hypertension. But ideally, you want the above number, the systolic, is 120, and that's the pressure the heart exerts to open the aortic valve. So that's the pressure the heart is delivering to your body. And then the bottom number is diastolic. It's supposed to be less than 80, and that's when your heart's relaxed, when the blood is going into the chambers.
Right. So yeah, that's and everything is measured in milligrams of mercury for those that don't know. And yeah, just like you said, I think in 2017 of November, the guidelines from the American Heart Association switched it. So anything above 130 systolic used to be like a prehypertension, and stage 1 used to be like above 140, right? And now everything changed, and if your blood pressure is above the 120s now, systolic, you are at risk of being prehypertensive, having high blood pressure, and you should do different lifestyle modifications in order to change that, which is crazy because I think I checked my blood pressure yesterday and it was like 131. I was kind of running around, so maybe I definitely should work on that.
Maybe get some coffee. But today's standards, American Heart Association, they want you to do below 120/80. Yeah. 120 to 129 is going to be considered hypertension now. Yeah. Or the bottom number once above between 80 or 90, it's also just called hypertension. Before there was like the prehypertension where you mentioned, and then we're going to the stage, and now it's already just hypertension.
Yeah, so they're kind of like skipping the part. And it's probably because of all these like heart diseases that we're experiencing in the hospital, right?
And that's good. I think that's a good idea because when you think of pre-diabetes or pre-hypertension, you think, I can still keep doing what I'm doing. Then when I get to hypertension or diabetes, then I'll go on the medication and do some changes. So like I feel like when you put pre and then the word, people are more like relaxed about it. It's not a big deal because it's only pre. So now they just set hypertension. That's it. I think that's gonna make people, be more accountable for their actions.
Yeah, but it's crazy because they skipped the whole 130s to 140s, and now it's just 120 to 129. You're already like at a point of hypertension, which is crazy. But I understand that there's a lot of cardiovascular risks, but we're going to talk about all the risk factors and how to avoid high blood pressure based on everything we're eating and all lifestyle choices, right?
Exactly. Yeah, completely correct. The best way to prevent something happening is prevention. Do the changes now instead of later. It's easier to change what you're doing now than suffer the consequences for like when you already have that issue.
Yeah, so definitely if you're already in stage 1, which is, let's see, 130 to 139 systolic, you should definitely kind of get your butt in gear, start doing lifestyle factors that are going to be affecting it. Talk to your doctor to see what you could do based on your like condition or any kind of like disease process that you have, how to avoid it and how to cope with it properly. And definitely if you're reaching 140 plus and maybe you're lazy or you didn't do anything, maybe you should temporarily go on a pill, right? Just to kind of help you lower the risks of what could occur if you avoid it. That's why, hypertension is called that silent killer. Right. So definitely talk to your doctor if it's already above the 140s. Because, what are like the risks, for example?
Well, there's many risks. Before you do the risk, you want to just go over all the stages and everything real quick for them. So basically, you're normal if you're less than 120 and your diastolic bottom number is less than 80. That's your number. You're probably happy with your life. You are happy where you're at. You probably exercise daily or a couple of times a week. You
smile like Peter 20 times a day.
So I'm saying, got new glasses. I feel so much smarter now. But
for people, do you think he looks like Harry Potter?
Probably.
I think so, but
I've been told that at work. I'm just like, whatever, new glasses. You're just jealous of my glasses.
You're like a magician, bro. So anyways.
So if you're less than 120 over 80, you probably have a good lifestyle. You're eating healthy. You're eating right. You're seeing your doctor, every so often. You're doing your physicals. Great. Just keep doing what you're doing, Once you get between 120 to 129 systolics and 60s, 80s, your diastolics, that's considered already hypertension, So you want to definitely start making lifestyle changes now, so you don't hop on a pill. Your doctor most likely isn't going to give you any medication as long as it's controlled. 120 to 129 isn't really that bad, or 60 to 80 isn't that bad either. But definitely lifestyle changes. Start working out. Start going to the gym. A gym membership of $20 a month is a lot cheaper than going to the hospital later on, going to the ER room.
That or even paying for what is it called, pills from the pharmacy, man.
Right.
But I feel like, just sorry to cut you off, is a lot of doctors they're less hesitant to give a pill because they see the person. They see that they're not going to make the change. Just like pushing a cholesterol pill. They know they're not going to change their diet. And they're at risk and they're licensed at risk, so they're going to give a statin. Just like here, like you can tell a person is not going to do the proper lifestyle modifications and they rather give a pill. And those people are the ones that are okay with that. They take the pill. They never change their lifestyle, and that's the problem. People that don't change their lifestyle, eventually it's going to continue. Your heart's going to get shittier, or your blood pressure's going to get worse. Then you got to take another extra pill. You got to do this, and then let's just say your sugar's high. You got to take another pill, and it's like this cascade of reactions because you're not putting in the work and you're not eliminating the things that are causing it in the first place.
Yeah. Good doctors won't throw you a pill the first day. Like when my dad came, he got diagnosed with hypertension. He was like mid 130s. He came into the office, he got diagnosed with hypertension, and they're like, hey, for this month, try to do lifestyle changes, stop smoking, stop doing this, stop doing that, eat healthier, and then we'll come back in a month, we'll reevaluate. If you're still hypertensive, then I'll put you on a pill.
What happened?
It was 130s. He's on the pill.
He's on the pill?
Yeah, he's on lisinopril.
Lisinopril? Okay, it's not that bad.
Yeah, but still, like, he probably could have, cut back his smoking.
Did you explain that to him?
Yeah, but stubborn as a rock,
Okay,
it's
well,
Polish
hopefully,
parents.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Yeah, so your first hypertension is going to be systolics between 130, 139, and your diastolics 80 to 89. That's probably when doctor's going to put you on some kind of medication, ACE inhibitors or something to bring your pressure down. But like I said, they usually give like that a month to change your ways. If it doesn't work, then they're for sure going to put you on some kind of medication because that's liability.
Right.
If you're consistently 130s and that's enough to have you to throw you into a stroke, that happens, then he's liable. If you're going to family's going to go to him and be like, hey, you knew I was hypertensive, now I have a stroke, now I can't move on my left side, what's your problem? Now we're really going to sue you. So they're most likely going to give you some medication. And you also want to encourage lifestyle changes too.
Right.
Because you don't want to get added pills. You don't want to live in a polypharmacy. Right, polypharmacy, live in a pharmacopoeia lifestyle where you just take pills for everything. And then when stage 2 is probably the really bad stage, worst stage you get to besides like the crisis.
There's definitely something going on in your life.
Yeah.
And then after that part, I think hypertensive crisis is above 180.
Yes.
So, above 180 and then systolic like 100. Basically, your body it's called emergent hypertensive crisis. Usually, these are the people that go into the hospital. Why? Because for one, you could get a stroke, risk for, a heart attack. You could get pulmonary edema because fluids will leak to your lungs because of overload. And you also got issues with kidney damage. Your kidneys cannot take that much high blood pressure. Not only that, but your heart We could probably discuss that, but it's going to enlarge, which sounds like a good thing because when you work out, you want a bigger muscle, but the heart is not good when it grows. You want to prevent that. And those are the people, there's guidelines for it. Like you want to decrease the blood pressure by 25% the first hour, right? And then you want to restore a normal blood pressure within 48 hours for those that are curious in the hospital. And they'll do things like labetalol, right, with metoprolol. You got cardine, anything to lower it. So
yeah, so that's hypertensive crisis. That's a legit hospital emergency where you're gonna go to the ER. And that's systolic above 180 or above, and your diastolic 120 or above. Of course, when we exercise, our blood pressure does get that high, and if you're exercising and your blood pressure is that high, I'd probably recommend just sitting down for like 15 minutes, relaxing, and then retaking. If it's still this high, yeah, definitely emergency. You're in huge risk for stroke, huge risk for heart attack. You should definitely go to ER. Even if you call your doctor, he's not gonna send you for an appointment. He's gonna send you straight to the ER.
Yeah, just like
dangerous.
Like one of my neighbors, like she forgot to take pills. She's older, and whatever dementia, whatever it is, she forgot to take her pills, and her blood pressure was in the 180s, and she didn't feel right. She had a headache. She kind of was a little bit nauseous, and I'm like, listen, like, let's go see what's going on. Did you take your pills? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, we forgot. And then she had a little bit of chest pain, which is a risk too. And I was a little bit concerned that she might have had a heart attack. So, usually patients that had a heart attack before, they have that little tablet of nitroglycerin.
Right.
For those that don't know, it's like a little vasodilator. So it opens up your veins in the coronary arteries to prevent a heart attack. Not prevent it, but to help the chest pain go away till you go to a hospital.
Yeah.
So I made her take one of those, and it lowered it a little bit till she took the pills, and she kind of felt, better again.
Yeah, so when your coronaries are occluded, not 100% obviously, but like 15%, 20% or whatever number is, the vasodilator will definitely help, carry over to the hospital, or that's a good sign to see your doctor. If you have consistent chest pain that happens when you exercise or just throughout the day, it's definitely not a good sign. Occasional chest pain's okay. I occasionally get chest pain from, like caffeine, or after I do like chest day, I get like chest pain, but it's not really my heart,
You do chest day?
Sometimes, if it, I like doing leg day 5 days a week, hit the chest once a week.
At least you're not going to have chicken legs, huh?
I know, hopefully, we'll see.
So what are like the signs of like high blood pressure, even though it's called the silent killer, because there's no way you can measure it. You really don't feel much till you're in that emergent and very stage 2 of hypertension, but there's still some cues that you could pick up on that you might have it. So
right, and people don't pick it up because they have been getting these signs for like the past couple years, and just something that happens to them. Like when you say, my head hurts, but that's been happening every week for the past 1 year, and then it's just pottery now.
Yeah, and so what's also a thing is a lot of people that get older, they're like, well, I've been having this back pain, or this is normal for me. Like people assume as they get older, they're going to have these and they just have to cope with it with pain, with, specific things. Like, no, like it's not normal for you to have chest pain. It's not normal for you to get constant headaches or
blurry vision.
Yeah. Like don't blame everything on age. Like there's something going on underlying that maybe you should seek medical advice.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if you've been having headaches that have been happening more often than they usually do, some shortness of breath, some chest pains that happen more often than they used to, or some vision changes, you go to an eye doctor like 3 times this month because your vision keeps changing. Or you start getting forgetful, or you consistently forget where you put your keys, where you put certain things. That could all be attributed to a high blood pressure.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's funny because my mom a couple of months ago, she had something like this too, where she had an episode and she was getting her hair done. She just got started sweating a little bit, had some pain, got a mad headache, and she felt like a little loss of consciousness. She just was super fatigued, and she called me, and I'm like, Mom, drink some water, sit down, check your sugar, maybe eat some carbs, maybe your sugar's low. And then she went to go to the doctors just to make sure, they checked blood work for troponin. They did an EKG just to show, what's going on. I think they did an echo too, because she's seen a cardiologist. And it turns out that her blood pressure was just really, really high. And she has probably issues with coping with stress sometimes. So I feel like that was a huge, attribute with everything else that was going on with the fam. So, she's on a pill right now, and she's working on her lifestyle modifications, and hopefully in the future, maybe I'll touch base and maybe she'll get off what she's taking, which is a losartan.
Okay.
So
that's fair.
Exactly.
So with this happening with your mom, have you noticed any risk factors in your life about her with her blood pressures?
Yeah. So the main one, which I noticed, Well, stress is one, but definitely the main one is weight gain. So, we're having some family issues, and she probably coped with it, not properly, ate more, and she gained a lot of weight. And for those, what is the statistic? I think for every single kilogram you lose, which is 2.2 pounds, your blood pressure drops 1 milligram of mercury. Yep. So if you lose 20 pounds, your blood pressure will drop, if you lose 20 pounds, your blood pressure will drop 10 milligrams of mercury, according to the statistic. So that means you'll go from the 140s to the 130s average. So it's really important that weight has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, and obviously if you're losing weight, you're probably exercising, you're probably eating healthier, so your blood pressure will probably drop even a little more than that 10. You get 15 or 20 even off that 20 pounds.
Right.
Because you're already doing a healthy lifestyle and you're already losing weight. So that's like the risk factors that you can control that affect your blood pressure. Like you said, weight, nutrition, tobacco, alcohol use. If you smoke a lot or you drink a lot, that pushes your blood pressure up. Even though alcohol does drop your blood pressure for a short time, once you start drinking, it does raise it up, as the night goes on, or you can, especially for alcoholics.
For you alcoholics, huh?
for you alcoholics. Okay,
sure.
Probably a good idea to stop drinking.
How do you want to categorize an alcoholic?
Because there's speculation that one serving of beer or some kind of alcohol does drop your blood pressure by a little bit, and it could be healthy at certain times, but you're not having that one beer. You're having those like 5, those 10, and it's not weekly. You're having like every day, and that's just going to raise your blood pressure, and then it's going to increase your cholesterol too.
Exactly, because unfortunately, for those that don't know, if you drink alcohol, your body just converts it into a simple sugar.
Right.
So you have an influx of sugar. Even though the risk factor of drinking, you get hypoglycemia. Your sugar drops temporarily, but over time, you're actually risking of having way too much sugar because of calories, and it could be a risk factor for getting diabetes, which is too much alcohol.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, physical activity is a big risk factor too. You don't want to live a stagnant lifestyle because that's going to add weight. It's going to cascade onto other issues. So like we said before, $20 a month for a gym is a lot less cheaper than paying those hospital bills later on, or those medications even. You don't want to pay $20 a month to see the gym, but then you're going to paying $50 a month on medication when you have hypertension.
Yeah.
It's an easy thing to avoid, and a lot of people say time is their excuse. Hey, I don't have time, I have a family, I got to do this, I got to do that. Like that walk somewhere for half an hour. You don't tell me, you can't say you don't have a half an hour a day for yourself. It's ridiculous, no matter how busy your life is.
Yeah, I feel like we like to blame things and have excuses, just like, oh, I gained weight because this happened. No, because you have to realize, what is your daily habit? Like taking a walk 5 minutes every single day. Like that habit will incorporate for you being healthier, lower blood pressure, whatever, weight loss, whatever it is. Like people don't realize that the habits you do day to day affect you on a larger scale for the future. Like you just have to be aware, like put that into perspective and do those little changes throughout your day. So
it's a lot easier for you to attribute your own problems against somebody else, because then that doesn't hold you as accountable.
We like to play the victim.
Exactly, play the victim. So you're saying my husband wants me to do this, my wife wants me to do this, so I can't go to the gym. No, you can go to the gym. You just don't want to go to the gym.
Right.
It's your problem, not somebody else's. You could find 30 minutes, you could find an hour. You just got to find it. It's an excuse.
There's legit things that happen in life, and let's just say you got to take a week off, right? You're working on things, you have some court issues, or like a couple of days ago, my car randomly just shut off, and you have to, take care of that. But make it a habit. You have 7 days in a week. How much time are you gonna put aside for the gym? Exactly. And you could squeeze it in, like even like for us, let's just say us, we do nursing. We take our gym. I take my gym bag personally after work. I worked a 12-hour shift at night. I got off and I'll go in for a 30-40 minute workout really quick. Okay. Sometimes I'll do like a 15-minute circuit and I'll go back home. I'll shower. I'll go to sleep. Like no excuses. Yeah. Like I don't want to hear it.
It's really not that hard. If you get out of work at 4, you got to cook dinner at 6. Go from work to the gym. Yeah. Half an hour. I'm sure you could find time. But there's also other risk factors that you cannot control, like age, family history, or genes. You can't change your genes. But I think in China, they're changing genes. I forgot what the system is called.
Man?
I forgot what the system was called, like CRU or something. I don't know what it was called.
Epigenetics and study of genomes, it's all out there. So, definitely as science is advancing, we're learning ways to manipulate things.
Exactly.
Like Germans were cloning, rabbits or whatever in the 1940s or who knows when already. Like imagine 2019 what the, advancements in technology are. So maybe we're talking to aliens
Maybe. I mean, we have Elvez now. Hold you over till transplant. But if your age is above 55, you're naturally at a higher risk for hypertension. If you're 55 for men, and I think 65 for women, it is. So you try to be a little bit more active. You know, take your grandkids out for a walk. If you have grandkids, take them out for a walk. Take them to the park. Pick them up from school. If you don't live far from school, just if it's like a 15-minute walk, just walk to school, walk back. I know it's winter sometimes, or sometimes it's always winter somewhere. But during the warm months, take a walk to school from school. Your kids will enjoy it too. You get to see the leaves grow, change color.
Yeah. And like naturally, as you get older, your blood pressure is higher, and that's one thing to consider. And sometimes, maybe it might be in the 140s and 150s. And a doc, let's just say in the hospital, like sometimes I'll send a page on like, hey man, this lady, she's 89 and her blood pressure is 150s or something, and they don't want to give anything because they know that your body just is old, or more older, I guess, and can't cope with the mechanics of lowering it naturally, and they want to leave it like that. There's no need. It's the baseline is a lot higher compared to us being healthy. It should be in the 120s and below, or whatever the case might be.
Yeah, or some people with like chronic kidney issues, where they have looks like a little bit of occlusions in their kidney, like if they have poor kidney perfusion. So they have a low blood flow to the kidneys. They would want a little bit elevated, just because they want that blood to the kidneys because it's got to filter it. So that's okay in certain situations. It's okay to have elevated blood pressure, like post-stroke. If it's ischemic, you want him a little higher, like 150s, 160, just so he gets that blood flow through there. Yeah, but if you're walking around with high blood pressure, that's not good.
Yeah. Another one is, so we talked about definitely weight loss, right? So weight loss is huge. It lowers your blood pressure. And then we touched upon exercise. That you should at least exercise 30 minutes a day. Dude, my flow just died right now.
Yeah, I know.
I just heard that.
That's okay. One of our cameras died, so we'll keep talking though.
Well, yeah. Let's just finish this off. We have to fix that problem. So definitely exercising. I think there's a statistic according to Mayo Clinic that if you exercise at least 30 times a day, or multiple times a week, you have ability to lower your blood pressure at least 5 to 8 times milligram of mercury, which is awesome.
Oh yeah.
But also you have to be consistent, and exercise could be anything, just like you said, from walking, going for a jog, doing some Roomba class. I know my grandma got into Roomba, which is awesome. You could do anything from cycling, jogging, swimming, like just anything that's cardiovascular. And if you want to take it a notch further, you could do strength training, which
build some muscle. Exactly,
which is healthy. So aim for strength training to be at least twice a week.
Exactly, because when your muscles grow in your body, besides your heart, that's good. You look good, you feel better, and you're naturally less stressed because, hey, I've been working out for 3 months, I'm starting to see some abs. Maybe I got a 2-pack going on, Yeah.
We should talk about that. So why is it bad that the heart shouldn't get larger?
Okay, so like Matt said before, when your muscles get bigger, you look good, you look healthy, you look stronger. But when your heart gets bigger, the chambers inside don't get bigger. So when your muscle gets bigger, it actually pushes down on chambers. So when your heart gets bigger, it makes your chambers smaller because the muscles got to grow somewhere, and it's going to grow out and in. So naturally, as the muscle gets bigger, it shrinks the chambers, and it's harder to actually eject that blood. And you're ejecting less blood with each beat. So
because your blood pressure is so high, your muscles are taking it takes a lot more to squeeze to get the blood going, because it's pushing against the resistance of the high blood pressure in those valves.
Right.
And what does your body do? It learns how to adapt. Just like working out, you're breaking the muscle down, it grows. Your muscle needs more power, it's going to grow. But eventually that left ventricle, because the left ventricle pushes it throughout the whole body, it keeps squeezing and growing. And eventually you're running out of freaking volume. You're not pushing as much blood, right? And you got to start taking pills to help relax the muscles, like help the heart squeeze better. So and one of those risk factors are hypertension. So it's not just about healthy eating and exercising. Like there's a lot of complications that will catch up to you down the road. And then you're going to be like, oh, what did I do to deserve this? No, it was your lifestyle over weeks, days, months, years that led you to this.
Exactly.
So don't play the victim. I don't want to hear it.
Exactly. Like once your heart grows, once it starts, getting weaker and not as strong as before, then it damages the rest of your organs. You're not getting enough blood to all your other organs. They start shutting down. Your kidneys are the first ones to go usually. And like back on to dieting and eating, poor eating.
That's the third important thing.
The third one. So poor eating is not only you're going to build fat, you're also most likely eating a lot of sodium. So when you put sodium in your body, it puts more volume of like water into your
because water
blood.
follows salt.
Exactly. So if you eat poorly, you're gonna have more water and more volume in your blood is gonna make your heart pump a lot harder too, because it's gotta pump more blood now. So yeah, so let's, for example, we like pizza. We're from Chicago. We like pizza. We like deep dish pizza.
Yeah.
So for an example, we took one slice of Giordano's deep dish pizza. That had about 1,300 milligrams of sodium.
1,300.
1,300.
Jeez, I love it though.
And your daily recommended dosage is what, 2,300 per day?
Yeah. So according to the FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration, I think the average American, on average, eats about 3,400 milligrams of sodium. And the American guidelines, the average you should be eating max is 2,300. So what is that? We're eating 1,100 milligrams daily of sodium excessively.
Yeah. That's almost like twice as much as we should,
And it makes sense because what do we eat? Not only is it fast food, everything is processed, like on shelves, everything that's canned, those frozen dinners that taste really good, right. Everything has sodium because when it preserves it, it tastes better than everything else. Exactly. And over time, it's just affecting us. And America has to wake up, like, right. Guys, like, eating like this is tasteful. We're eating to cope with our stress, but it's putting a toll on our life, man, and our longevity. And not only that, you're feeling bad about yourself mentally and physically because you're eating like this. So,
yeah, and you eat a lot of sodium and you get more thirsty, so you drink more water. You don't feel like working out. You get dehydrated, your kidneys suffer. It's all a giant cascade.
Yeah.
And I also do like my Chipotle. So one Chipotle bowl steak has about 1,600 milligrams of sodium. And that's without the salsas, or that's without like the corn salsa and the tomato salsa. Right. So if you add toppings, it's only going to eat more. And
that's just one meal in your day.
Exactly.
So if you had Chipotle
and a slice of pizza, you're already above.
Exactly. You're already above, which is crazy. And the key to like eating healthy and avoiding basically salt is eating whole foods, meaning if it has one ingredient and it's from the ground, it's probably good for you. Like carrot, apple, banana. It has one ingredient. Stick to that. If it's freaking crackers, which has like 6, 7, 8 different other ingredients, it's probably bad for you. So definitely whole foods, which is fruits, veggies, beans, minimally processed foods, minimal animal foods, even though I like my eggs. I don't know what the egg debate is right now nowadays in saturated fats, and then eating nuts. That's like my baseline. And, avoiding those sugary foods and sugars, Coke, pop, and just stick with water. So
you just gotta be a smart shopper. You could make low cost healthy meals. It's not hard. We've been cooking for a while. We've been meal prepping for a while too. Myself, not as much as I used to, just because I'm kind of slacking a little bit. But man,
it's okay to admit it here. I know. I'm live.
But I swear I'll go back. To give me like a month. I'll be good.
Keep up on Peter's Instagram to see where he's at. Let's see.
Probably poor. No, but I'll get back into it. But Matt meal preps, and it's really not that expensive, right? As long as you smart shop and smart, or as long as you shop smart and stay healthy.
Yeah. For example, I'll go to Aldi and I'll buy like 3 pounds of lean chicken breast, and I'll put it in the slow cooker. And I try to buy like a taco seasoning packet that has maybe like 1,800 milligrams, but that's like throughout the week that I'll eat that 1,800 milligrams. Yeah. And I'll make like shredded chicken basically. I could add it to my salad. I can make tacos out of it, and I'll add it to little things throughout the day. And that's not an excuse. All I got to do is, like, let's just say I'm getting ready for work, I'll make broccoli or I'll make asparagus, and I have that chicken already ready to go. So, I mean, you just have to dedicate yourself and want to change more than anything. Exactly. And you'll see the results. Just be consistent.
Right.
So
the hardest part is starting off, and then it gets easier as you do it more often because it just blends into your routine. So you naturally wake up, you're like, oh, I gotta cook.
Yeah, but also like talking about a smart shopper, like you have to understand how to read labels, and I feel like unfortunately that the industry learns how to manipulate things and cheats us out of actually reading them properly. Mm-hmm. Like just like you're drinking a Gatorade and it says it has 80 milligrams of sodium, but that's one serving size 2.5. Hey man, you're drinking above 200 milligrams of sodium without even realizing it because they decided to do serving sizes. Right. And I wish there was like some kind of baseline or some kind of guidelines that pushed producers, right, to kind of have it the whole serving. What's the sodium? Like a pizza. Right. What is it? Like pizza is like 1/6 is a serving, and it's 390 milligrams of sodium, but the whole pizza is like freaking 2,000.
Exactly.
I wish there was a thing of like, hey, this whole slice of pizza, this is how much sodium. But they learn how to manipulate.
Yeah, because then they can do the math. It's a lot easier to say, hey, I'll just have one slice, but who only eats one slice of pizza?
Right.
It's a sin. he wants his pizza.
Is it?
I don't know. It's probably glutton.
It's a sin in Chicago. Let's just say that.
That's what I'm saying.
So after we exercise, we have some weight loss, we eat right. The fourth one is to what is it called? Minimize, cope, cut back with like stress, because let's just say you have one event in your life and it continues, it becomes chronic, and we're not realizing that because that's happening. GoPro, or we have another camera shut off, guys. Anyways, we're gonna finish off this podcast because this is just one of those days for us, which is cool. Chronic stress. What happens is the adrenal glands, because of chronic stress, are secreting adrenaline, right? Or is it epi?
It's adrenaline, and then because you activate your sympathetic nervous system, and that releases adrenaline, which releases norepinephrine and epinephrine.
Yeah, and stimulating our body, creating chronic stress. Like, you have to learn how to cope with that, because for one, usually people that are eating bad or let's just say this: people that are stressed out, they are gonna look at things to kind of like cope with it, to escape it, right? In a way, some people do drugs, some people drink, some people eat bad and pizza. Let's just say we're learning how to like have that little rush of happiness and dopamine and dealing with the stress, but we're not really stopping the stress, and it's just continuing, and it's a cascade. And sometimes, we're just out of our bodies, and we're weeks and days go on, and we're like, whoa, like I'm still stressed out on this event. Like, let's just say nursing school, man, this is 2 years. Yeah. I've realized how much people have gained weight, like in nursing school. Let's just say, why? Because it's just daily stress.
Freshman 15,
yeah, you're just gaining weight. You don't know how to deal with it, and you're just packing those pounds on. So
yeah, I mean, the best way to probably lower your stress is definitely to change your expectations. Don't plan out too much for one day. Plan your long-term goals, your short-term goals. Make them actually achievable. Make sure the short-term goals are actually achievable in a short term. Getting a six-pack in a month is probably not going to happen. That should probably be a month, like a long-term goal, like probably 6 months.
In a healthy way.
In a healthy way, exactly. So definitely change expectations. That's probably the main thing, and organize your time. If you feel like you're chasing time every day, you're planning too much in your days, hey, how about you plan less than one day and spread it out for the week. That's going to make things go a lot smoother. You're not going to feel rushed. You're going to have time to do everything that you wanted to do.
Yeah. And then the fifth one. So after all that, cut back on caffeine, it's an interesting one. So we found a meta-analysis online, and then basically blood pressure and caffeine is debatable. So over 16 studies, and it was over 1,000 patients. They were given 410 milligrams of caffeine, which is about 4 cups a day. And it showed an increase from 4 milligrams of mercury, which is not much. Yeah. So caffeine doesn't directly correlate with increased, high blood pressure. But I feel like if you drink caffeine and you're an anxious person, a nervous person, that anxiety is going to boost your blood pressure.
Right.
If you're not coping with whatever's going on in your life and it's making you more anxious.
Yeah. Caffeine will not be the sole purpose of your hypertension. You can't be like, oh, I have high blood pressure, so I'm going to cut back caffeine and I'm going to be fine. No, that's not how it works. It could be a co-contributor when your blood pressure is like 164, you probably shouldn't be drinking coffee. No, that's going to make things a little worse. So it's not, you can't solely attribute to your high blood pressure to coffee. And as the more coffee you drink, let's say you drink 1 cup a day and you've been drinking it for years, that's going to do less. Your body's going to get used to it. So you're going to need more caffeine to get the same effect. So instead of going up 4, now you've been drinking coffee for 1 cup of coffee for a year every day, it probably only going to go up to like 2.
Yeah.
And the coffee's not going to hit you as hard either. But as long as you don't keep increasing the dose of caffeine, you should be fine.
Yeah. And everything of too much is not good either. So it's good to go on like a little caffeine fast, which I'm probably due for one. We're drinking coffee now, but it's just like sometimes you're drinking way too much throughout the night, day. Like, let's just say going to the gym, you want like a spike of caffeine too, and it's just like, whoa, our body's constantly stimulated. So definitely having a caffeine fast would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, I don't know. That would probably give me a headache. After caffeine, we already discussed alcohol. You definitely want to keep it to a minimum. If you're having a glass of wine, a beer, a shot, I don't know who, comes home and has a shot, but whatever the category of your drinking is, that's okay. You're doing okay. But if you're coming home having 2-3 beers, then you're risking of having higher blood pressure, and that could, over time lead to the different hypertension stages. So definitely cut back. A beer a day will not kill you, but
exactly. But diabetes will.
Diabetes will.
Yeah. I don't know. Did we talk diabetes?
No, but the next one could be definitely cutting out sugar in your life.
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, for diabetes, someone has diabetes, they have hyperglycemia, high glucose content in their blood. So that affects blood pressure is it decreases the ability of your veins arteries to stretch. So naturally your body's gonna pump harder against them if they can't relax or stretch out. Another one is that it increases fluid volume, just like salt. Glucose, you could say, kind of thickens your blood. I wouldn't really say thickens, but it just pulls fluid just to even it out the ratio of glucose in cell and out of the cell. So it's you're in what is that, I don't know what is it, I forgot, hemostasis.
Okay.
You want to be in hemostasis, so your blood, to even up the level of glucose in your body, your body's gonna suck on the blood, and it also changes the way insulin is used, and that could damage your kidneys as well.
Yeah, but so definitely sugar is toxic, and not only that, over time eating sugar and you becoming diabetic or pre-diabetic, you're releasing in your body something called the metabolic syndrome, which we could probably include a link for people to read. But it does things of increasing your blood pressure, increases insulin resistance, raises your cholesterol. Is there another one?
There is. I'm not sure off the top of my head though.
And the triglycerides. So not only that cascade is not only making you fatter, making you store more fat, which is leading to hypertension. It's also ruining the arteries, just like you said, and everything else. So it's like a domino effect, man.
Exactly.
And sugar, unfortunately, that's another topic, but we're eating way too much in America as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even like a pop a day is already like past the limit, man.
Yeah.
So.
And unfortunate thing about bodies is if one organ's struggling, it's gonna make the whole body struggle. If one organ's affected, it's gonna eventually affect all the other organs.
True. Just to kind of wrap things up, so think about this: one in three Americans in the world, or in America, I should say, 1 in 3 Americans have hypertension or pre-hypertensive. And 1 in 3 could be you. It's me, you, or somebody else.
Right. So
that's crazy.
We don't have it, so one of you's got to have it.
Exactly. So whoever's watching, go check your blood pressure right now.
Exactly.
But the thing is prevention is key to a lot of things. Not only is it going to help our healthcare system, and like healthcare is such a big freaking business and money's being poured into it. Like, be responsible for your own health. A doctor's not in charge of your health. You are.
Right.
Take direct action to lower it if you have it, or if you're on medications, take steps you could change to lower the dosages and eventually get off them. Lifestyle modifications, right? Cut back on drinking, cut back on sugar, exercise, cut back on your stress, caffeine. Meditate if you have to kind of cope with your stress, and exercise. Like, do those things to prevent the silent killer, which is hypertension.
Exactly. You want to live longer, be healthy.
Exactly. So don't be part of the statistic. Like, learn how to have a higher optimal life, health, and a better well-being, guys.
Yep. Wrap it up. That's about it.
I think we should wrap it up. And sorry, guys, for the cameras, man. This is so unfortunate.
This video might be a little bit different than other ones because we have 2 cameras dying us, but it's okay.
For those that are on video.
Yeah. All right, guys.
We'll see you guys next week. Take care.
See ya.